Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all starting y'all day off right. I got me a little bit of green tea here with a little bit of honey in it, and that's how I'm kicking off the day. I woke up this morning a little bit unsettled, a little frazzled, because I usually try to plan what I'm going to do the next day, the night before, but I didn't do that, so I'm scrambling a little bit this morning. Nothing of high importance or priority, but better yet, I do like to have an idea of how my day is going to go, right? Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you feel a little grumpy or you feel a little unsettled. Your day don't go well, okay? It's like when you have things to do and you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, it seems like the rest of that day is just going to be off. It's like if you got someplace to go, it seems like every red light will catch you on that day. But when you wake up in good spirits and you wake up thankful and grateful and you got some type of plan, or you just, even if the plan is to have no plan, guys, you wake up excited, you wake up in good spirits, it seems like the lanes on the highway just open up for you, right? Because you're just vibrating high and you just going with the flow and everything is well, right? So how do we shift our mindset? How do we get ourselves to redirect and think more positively versus negatively? Because we don't want our whole day to be unsettled, right? So how do we do that? Since that's what we're thinking about, we might as well talk about it, okay? How do you start shifting your mindset, changing your perspective, and basically, as an end result, change your life, change your career, change your finances? All of that can be in alignment with your mindset. What we tend to focus on the things that we think are more probable. I didn't say possible. I said probable, because there is a difference, right? Probable is what you believe you actually have in your mind that you can achieve. That's probable. Possible is pie in the sky, baby. We ain't doing possible. We doing probable. If you got your mind in the right place and your perspective is more positive and you can visualize the things that you need and the things that you want, and you can strategize on how to get those things that you need and you want, your life starts to change. Your success takes a turn for the better. Your probability increases. I'm gonna tell y'all, I was at a point in my life early on, okay? I wanted to be a homeowner. I'm gonna tell you, this was many a few decades ago, I'll say that. I wanted to be a homeowner. I always wanted to be a homeowner because I knew that was my path to having financial stability. Believe it or not, some people think house, they think debt, they think bills, they think, not being financially stable. But I thought the opposite of that, and I still think the opposite of that, because the way society today is set up. I'll give you an example. When you get car insurance, one of the questions they ask is how long you have been in your home. They ask you, do you rent? They ask you, do you own? Why do you think they ask you about your home when they're considering you for car insurance, automobile insurance? They want to see how stable you are. Usually you can get a better rate if you've been in your home for over 2 years, or you've been at your residence for over 2 years, and even more of a credit to the consideration if you own your home. Tell me, why do you think that is? So I knew that would be working in my favor. Home ownership, for many reasons, and that's just one example, right? But I knew I couldn't I wanted a home, but I wanted a certain kind of home. But I knew at that moment in my life, my financial situation could not afford what I was ultimately visualizing. Okay? And so I knew I had to start somewhere, because that's what it's about. You don't have to be perfect in your position to get to the position that you want to be in, right? You just have to be making progress. How do you make progress unless you start somewhere? Okay? So I know I wasn't going to right away get into the home that I ultimately want to get into, but I knew I had to start somewhere. So where did I start? I started in an apartment. Okay? You start in an apartment, and I knew, how am I going to get from this apartment to something that I own? Well, I had to progress in my career so that my finances could match my first stepping stone, which would be my starter home, right? So as long as I was progressing in my career, and I'll say this, it doesn't have to be the job that you desire. It has to be also in alignment, the stepping stone to the job that you ultimately want, right? And we're not working. We never had the intention to work for life, okay? we didn't want to do that. So we know we needed to get the finances to get to the home that we wanted. And then the ultimate goal is to get to the lifestyle that you want, right? Or to get to the forever home that you want and the lifestyle that you want to match that. Okay, so we all got to be able to visualize what that looks like and what you need to get there, okay? Regardless of whatever that is for you. That could be your homestead, that could be your mansion, that could be your what do they call it? It could be your tiny home. It could be whatever you visualize. It could be a trailer on 10 acres of land. Whatever that looks like for you, right? That's your desired lifestyle. So I had to move from the apartment. I got a small promotion, which allowed me to move into a townhouse that I could own. Then I went from a townhouse to a single family home. And then ultimately, not ultimately, but next I moved into a nicer single family home in a better neighborhood for me. So that was progress. As I was progressing in my career, I was progressing into being able to purchase the home that I wanted. Now, here I am now. It's a pretty nice house, but this is not my ultimate desired lifestyle. I know that. But I need to do these things to be able to get me to my ultimate goal. Stay tuned for that later, okay? So, purchasing, selling, purchasing, selling, and purchasing. And now I'm at the point where I'm ready to do what again? Sell and purchase. But this time, purchase my ultimate goal, which is my forever home, which would lead me to the lifestyle that I ultimately desire. Almost there. Getting there. Okay? And you can get there too, but you just got to change your mindset so that you can visualize the probability of you getting what you need and what you want. I'll tell you right now, some of the jobs I had, I did not want, I did not desire, but I knew I could check all the boxes. That job, that particular job at that time could check all the boxes, and I could tell you the hell I went through with some of those jobs. But I had to keep in mind that I have a goal. I had a goal. And as long as I was progressing towards that goal, I was okay. I could get through the challenges, the hurdles, and everything else that came along with those jobs. And I'm telling you, okay, another day, another story, but we'll progress. You know, previously we talked about in a previous video, we talked about getting into ruts and stuff. We can get into a negative mindset without even knowing that we're there, right? Especially if you are not thinking about the different types of people and places where you're hanging out or hanging around. You got to consider all that everything has an impact on you, negatively and positively. You can try to remain as neutral as you want to, and you may not even realize that certain things and places and people are having these impacts on you until you actually get away from them. You know, you gotta keep telling yourself, stay out of the negative zone. You know, you have people sometimes are always thinking nothing ever works out for them. They can't catch a break, you know. But it's the mindset. It's like, mindset to me is like, you know, that filter that some people have on the cameras that makes it's them, but the filters make them look a certain way. So your mindset can make life look a certain way. It can make your goals look a certain way. It can make the challenges look a certain way. And you gotta take that filter off sometimes and put yourself in the right mindset to get the things that you need and to get the things that you want. So instead of saying, why are you being punished, or why are you being tested, or why are you being tried, to say, what is this trying to teach me? What is the lesson that I'm supposed to pull out of this situation? And instead of like comparing yourself to other people that might be around you, you might think, what can I learn from this person? I know sometimes you think, like, when you're going for an opportunity, you think people are just throwing things in your way. They're slamming doors in your faces. They're giving you rejection. Everything is negativity. Instead of thinking about rejection, think about redirection. There's a reason why you didn't get that job. There's a reason why you didn't get that position. There was something else that was better for you. You just needed to change the way you were looking at it and take the opportunity. Sometimes I really think, I was talking with a family member about this. Sometimes I think those negative people are just really distractions in your life. And the things they say to you, the things they say around you is just noise, right? So what do you need to do? You just need to, well, I say it like this. If you're listening to the radio, you can't hear the jazz station if you tuned into an in-between stations, right? All you can hear is the static. Hit the scan button, baby, go to the next station till you find the station that you want to listen to. You know, every now and then life just, for no logical reason to us humans, life throws us a curveball. But it's your mindset that's telling you whether or not you're going to duck or you're going to swing, baby. Okay? So which one you going to do? Depends on, get it right. Everything can't be doom and gloom. I'm gonna tell you like that. If you want to succeed in life, that thing that you think of it as a struggle, whatever it is, okay? I don't know what you're going through or what you've been through. You know, I'm just talking from my own experience. I see struggles sometimes as my growth periods. That's when my back is against the wall, I'm coming out swinging. I ain't ducking, I ain't dodging, I ain't hiding behind nothing. I'm coming out swinging because I know what my goals are, and I know once I get over this hurdle, once I get past this challenge, I'm that much closer to my goal, and I'm coming out swinging. I think that you don't have enough of what it takes to get to the next level. I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. Stop saying you don't have enough. And start saying, I'm in the process, I'm in the progress of getting everything that I need. Everything I need and everything I want is coming to me. And I'm going to it. I'm getting closer. Somewhere we're going to meet in the middle, baby. Okay? Just don't need to be able to figure everything out all at once. Sometimes you just need to take a little step here and there. Just taking a step towards your goals, okay? Not just hanging back and seeing what's happening and going with the flow. Going with the flow don't work for nothing. but hanging out and hanging right where you are. And that's right where you're going to get stuck. Don't nobody start out perfect. Don't nobody start out polished. Let me tell you an example you might be able to relate to, because some of y'all, I think, are a lot younger than me. But take Beyonce, right? Everybody knows who Beyonce is, right? Did she come out the gate being Beyonce? No, honey, she started out long before that being in Destiny's Child, right? You can see the difference between her performance in Destiny's Child and her performance today, okay? And even before Destiny's Child, I'm going to tell you, there was probably a whole lot of work that went into even becoming Destiny's Child, okay? My point is, you're not going to come out the gate ready for what you visualize your ultimate goal to be. You're not going to be ready for that right away. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't no human perfect like that, okay? You got to work towards that. In order to work towards that, you got to progress, right? In order to progress, you got to put your feet forward, okay? Going forward, taking action, and then, knowing exactly what you need. You should know what you need, right? And then work towards getting what you want. But moving forward is the key. And you might think, oh, I can't relate to that. She's talking about buying houses and buying this. And, you ain't got to be perfect to start. You just got to start. That's all I'm saying. There was a point in my life when I couldn't even buy a sandwich. You hear me? But figure out how to move forward one step at a time. All that to say this, right? Start out your day with gratitude. Even if you didn't wake up feeling your best, you gotta sit down with yourself and change your mindset about how the day gonna go. Don't accept the fact that you kind of felt unsettled when you woke up, and so the rest of the day is going to be messy. We're not accepting that. We're going to put ourselves in the mindset of positivity and progress and prosperity. And we're going to do that as many days of the month as we can, because every day you might just not have it in you. But you just keep trying to shift your mindset in that direction, so you ultimately can change your life, change your career, change your lifestyle, change your relationships. All start with you and how you view the world, how you view people, how you view things, okay? We're going to limit that negative talking. We're going to limit our exposure to those people who can't seem to get it in the right gear. They can't change their mindset. We can't hang out with them, okay? We're not hanging out with people with negative mindsets and no goals. We ain't got no room for them kind of things in our life if we want to prosper, right? I'm not saying you have to completely isolate yourself, but you want to focus on the things that you need and things that you want and how you're going to positively get them there. Now, we're not talking about shifting our mindset in a way that we're going to manipulate, take from other people, rob, steal. None of that negative stuff is how we're going to progress in life. Because I'm going to tell you right now, fast money don't stay in your pockets. And that's just the way it is, because karma come always. We already talked about that. So whatever we're doing, we're going to do it the right way. Whenever you feel yourself starting to complain a lot, you're starting to feel negatively about things and the way you see them, that's your sign, or that should be your sign that you need to shift your focus, right? Change your environment a little bit, that where you are and the people that are around you, if it's getting harder for you to do that, all right? So when you change how you think, you change what you attract. That's not magic, that's alignment. I think we're getting a little long with here, so I need to wrap this up. But so the message is basically, a mindset shift. It's not about ignoring the problems that come about, the challenges, the hurdles that you have to face, however often you have to face them, right? When your mind gets right, your life starts to follow. That's as simple as I can say it. Get your mindset right so your life can be better. Wait for the perfect conditions. Start where you are. Even if you're in a messy place, you just start trying to figure out how to clean up your situation. And keep believing that something good is coming. Something good is on the way to you. You're going to achieve all your goals. You're going to have everything you need. You're going to have some of the things that you want. Right? Just keep believing. Because remember, we're living in a way that we're looking at the probability and what it's going to take for us to get there. We're not looking at possibilities. We're looking at percentages of probability. Okay? And that's coming to you. The positivity is coming to you because if you give out that positive energy, you're going to attract positive energy. So just kind of remember, all right? Good things are coming to you. Just believe that because they are. And if nobody told you today, because maybe not yet because it's kind of early, nobody told you today, you're doing better than you think. So just keep going. Have a good day.